Let me ask you a question. How big is the ass of a horse? Do you know? Also, do you know that the ass of a horse determined the size of the NASA Space Shuttle engine? Yes, these two things are related to each other. Buckle up, I have a story to tell you that will blow your mind. This is the story of dependence. See, 2,000 years ago, we had the Roman Empire, and the Romans traveled by horse. The horse carrier was wide enough for 2 horse asses, so it was roughly 1.5 meters in width, and that was the width of roads in the Roman Empire. Hundreds of years passed, and we invented the train. And the British built railways all around the empire, and they made the train tracks 1.5 meters in length, just like the Romans. Then the Americans built trains too, and they adopted the British system. This is where it gets interesting. 2,000 years later, NASA was developing a rocket to go to space. But the rocket engine had to be designed in Utah, and it had to be shipped all the way by train to Florida for the launch. Now you know what's happening. The engine in Utah had to be small enough to fit on a train to go in a tunnel, which means the engine cannot be bigger than the size of a tunnel in America. And so, the engine cannot be much bigger than 1.5 meters. 2 horse asses. 2,000 years later, the size of a horse's ass influenced the size of a NASA Space Shuttle engine. That is crazy. Now, of course, some people say this is exaggerated, and they may be right. But the idea is not exaggerated. So much of today's cultures, traditions, and technology is based on history that is outdated and useless. For example, take the football. Why do most footballs look like this? Well, before the 1970s, the TVs were black and white. It was very difficult to see a football on TV. So they made footballs black and white to make them stand out more. And even though TVs now show you 8K resolutions, we still have footballs shaped like black and white.
So in the 1966 World Cup in England, there was a red and kind of orangish ball that was used on the field. Now, the problem with that ball was that on a black and white television, you couldn't really see the action. So in 1970, the World Cup brought out a new soccer ball. It's known as a Telstar ball. It's one that you will probably recognize, the black and white colors, and that ball was much easier to see on television.
That's crazy! You know what else is crazy? Your keyboard. It is also part of the dependence problem. Why is the letter Q next to W? This is the QWERTY keyboard. It was designed 150 years ago to help people translate Morse code to words easily. Yes, Morse code people wanted these letters arranged like that. And now we are stuck with the QWERTY keyboard, even though it's not the best or the fastest keyboard out there.
QWERTY was the one that gained popularity, and it's just the one that we train millions of people hours now.
And the craziest one? It's the wine bottle. Why is wine 750 milliliters? Why not 500? Apparently, in the 18th century, most glass was made by humans who would blow into glass to create the shape of the bottle. And the average human lung had enough air to create 750 milliliter glass. Yes, that is the common belief. And ever since then, every wine bottle is 750 milliliters in size, even when machines make them.
In the 1970s, early 1970s, America, which does not use the metric system, they actually adopted 750 milliliters as a standard because that was what was used in Europe. But the belief is that the size and the shape of the wine bottle was dictated by the exhalation lung capacity by glass blowers.
The point I am trying to make is simple. We must question everything we do today and ask why. Forget the horse's ass, forget the space shuttle, forget the wine bottle. We must question our political systems, our cultural systems, our traditions, and even our religious systems to find the best answers. The solutions of 1,000 years ago are not the best solutions for today.